to Werewolf the Apocalypse. We're in New York. We're raging across it because this is the source book Rage Across New York, published in 1993, I think it was. We're using the old stuff here. The year is 1991 in the world. And that means that everybody's into grunge now, right? Very much into
No, I'm getting into early music. Early dance music.
Oh, early electronic dance music. Yeah.
The Manchester scene, that's getting really big right about now.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Baggy trousers, I'm all about them.
Yeah, I remember it. Oh my god, I remember that I didn't like it. But I think I have forgiven it because of nostalgia. So it's all good now. Yep, it's fine. I'm fine with everybody's fine with it. This show is rated R because Werewolf is a game of very mature themes. And in Rage Across the New York, we will deal with things like mental health and trauma and such. And yeah, the most vulnerable in society may well end up targets for nefarious deeds by worm minions sometimes. Because that's how the worm operates, isn't it?
It's also rated 18, or no, it's rated R for R, actually.
Yes, R for R. Let's face it, when we play Werewolf, we enjoy just the visceral pleasure of clawing to shreds really bad people, really bad NPCs.
That hurt to hear. I needed to leave.
Didn't quite catch that. Anyway, who do we have around the table right now? People.
Yes, I guess I'll go first. Hello, I'm Dominic, Domi for short, any pronouns. I'll be playing the Black Fury Philodox, basically a bit of a radicalist, but very diplomatic. In her human day, she goes by Bryce, but along with the pack, or Garou society in general, she goes by Femis.
The goals are ambitious. Diplomacy can be employed when needed.
Alright, and I'm El Duende, pronouns and all. Sorry I sound like shit, got into a fist fight, long story. I'm playing as Jake Stromfeld, aka True Strike, the Get a Fenris rune. It feels thematic that it feels thematic that the player of the rune is the one who gets into the fist fight.
Hello, I am Enter. I am playing Miranda Blackpool. Still aspiring architect, Queens, the Edge of the Glasswalker, and goes by Weavewalker.
Indeed. And we're all in New York. What was that? Someone said something? I didn't hear it.
Well, I haven't gone yet.
Roger, go ahead.
I'm Roger. I'm playing Miles Lincoln, the Glasswalker Galliard, New York Bohemian, and his werewolf name is Storm Speaker. And it just occurred to me that all that cool spirit world stuff we did in Alaska, or not Alaska, in Canada, was only possible because the veil is so thin there, it's pretty easy to step sideways. Now we're in New York, we're probably never going to get to do that again.
It is... Yeah,
We probably made our decision to play as Banishers, one that may backfire.
It's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna dig through the walls. We are going back to the Umbra
We
at
have a
every
care.
opportunity.
The gauntlet has nothing on you guys in your claws, right?
Yeah. It's a difficult test. It's not impossible.
Exactly. I was asking, way too late, about the descriptions for your various touchdowns because I want to... So in this session, we're almost going to get to the next story, but I want to do a few things before we get to the new story. And that's going to include some touchdown scenes, obviously, because we need to establish them as people who you care about. They're not just some numbers on a sheet or a mechanic for you to milk willpower from. They're people. Yeah, let's go. Amanda, what does she look like? Themis?
Goodness gracious.
She is 1 year older, which means that she is 20.
I imagine she looks a bit like, I don't know, the standard white girl, although she probably would have like a mix of the blonde hair and like the dirty blonde hair color. What I'm thinking.
Okay.
I don't know what's it called. What is it called? Like stripes or something?
With obviously
I
the
have-
1991 hairstyle, because that's what we're doing. How is she dressed? She's an activist, so I'm guessing street clothes, or is she in...
Amanda is not necessarily an activist. She is. I don't think she is like in the same crowd as Bryce,
Fair enough.
because Amanda actually went to school, finished school.
Oh my! Yeah, so she's in
Or
college.
is in the. I guess in. Yeah, I guess she might still be studying. Well, I know.
Yeah,
But
right.
she would be like the type to hang a lot with Bryce. So she is still dressed fairly casually, but like slightly popular for the time.
Very well. Let's see how painfully 1991 we can make her. And I hope it's gonna hurt everybody's eyes, because
It is. Yes,
grunge and everything, right? Yeah, that works. Big hair,
The
definitely.
combat music is playing.
Oh, the comet music is playing? That's the perfect music we need right now. Because,
Yeah.
why is the
I
comet?
feel my heart rate spiking.
Oh, it's because of the scene, I think.
I've made some alterations to my heart of my touchstone.
Whoop, there we go. What we need is
It's
like
not an
big city
exact.
music.
It's not the exact same hair color, but this is just the vibe I'm imagining. Granted, more like casually dressed, but
There we
you know.
go. What do you think
um,
about this for Amanda? Very casual. Very 1991. Like, painfully
Are you-
1991.
Are you streaming anywhere or showing it something?
I am showing it on the Foundry map.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's perfect.
Excellent. We also have your friend, Marcus, who's 21 years old, and he is an activist.
Yes, basically the. I don't know if it's second in command, but I guess they basically share some of the responsibility of their little activist group. But he will do a lot of the managing when Bryce isn't around.
So he's gonna be dressed in 1991. He's gonna maybe have a blazer and a hoodie.
So I guess like a little similar to Bryce in being very counterculture, which at this time,
Counterculture at this stage is grunge, I think.
yeah, the grunge definitely fits.
Okay, let's see what nightmares we might get for our fodder here. I guess that works-ish. Okay. Hold on to your horses. Fasten your seatbelts. Because this is one glorious hairstyle brought to you from 1991. The key being, don't bring a brush. That's definitely the key. Whatever you do not care for your hair at all. Because
Goodness gracious.
that would be terrible. Here we go. Marcus, look at the guy.
Yeah, that's a vibe.
That is definitely what he looks like. Love it. Okay, we have more. Jake, Lester. What does Lester look like?
Lester is about in his mid-40s.
Oh my. He's 45-year-old. He is...
Messy hair, crooked teeth, and a large chin.
Oh,
Like a pronounced.
yeah. How is he dressed?
Like an average homeless guy.
That is fair. Okay. the most bone knower of all the ghetto Fenris has a touchstone accordingly, right?
Yep.
That's what we're going with.
Let's see how bad this looks.
Sorry. Don't ask him to smile. That's all I say.
I didn't see it.
No,
Come on,
I
Shay.
know. You will see in a moment here. It's on the way. I think you're gonna appreciate this because... Ouch. Very ouch. Boom! What do you think of this?
Oh my god, that looks like just.
I can't see it. Where?
It's on the
It's
Foundry.
There
like
it is.
on the Foundry page.
That looks good, I think.
Very good. Yeah. He needs a dentist, this guy. Which is not weird, because when you're that life, dentistry is hard to come by. Alright. Miles. We have an electronics teacher with a repair shop who doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the names for either of my guys. If anybody's got any suggestions.
What an electrician guy. What about George for George Westinghouse? And so George and a surname Siemens. Why not?
George Siemens.
Yeah.
Like the guy who
Siemens or
actually...
Simons?
George Simons.
So you've George Siemens like the
Yeah,
the
no, I get
guys
the brand.
the German guys who did stuff with electricity.
Yes, but he's probably not named after the company, because then he would not be having an electronics shop in...
No, it's just a coincidence.
Oh, okay. Not related to them.
I like how there's like some guys named Ericsson, but aren't related to the Ericsson company.
Yeah.
Okay.
They sell
Here's
Nokias.
some
Yes.
other- yeah. How about
Um,
Franklin Fix-It Delgado?
Yeah, that's how it
Okay.
works.
And what does he look like, Franklin?
I'm just thinking the best single word to describe him will be neurodiverse.
Right. That is not an appearance, sir.
It's a vibe. It's an aura.
If he's named
You can
Delgado, he's probably Hispanic somewhere, and
Help as much as you want. Being neurodivergent is a bit of an appearance.
fair enough. Okay, so here we go.
Maybe. Hold on.
Here we go. I know how to fix this.
Just gotta know how to weed them out.
What was that? I don't even know.
Loud.
It was loud, wasn't it? Pretty loud. Alright, here we go. He's looking comparatively normal in comparison to a lot of other people here. Because he just stays in his shop all day and then he goes home to his... I don't know. I don't even know if he has a family or whatnot. But it's not a big apartment is what I'm saying. And he has, like... The only way he really interacts with his family is if and when they decide to come down to his shop and help him out with his things, because he has that level of obsession. Other people do model trains, he does electronics. So what do we think about that face, Miles?
Yeah, that works.
That works?
Very
And-
handsome.
The other guy... Cy Malone.
Yeah. What happens if you just say the description is just aging hippie?
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Yes, those are
that's
words.
kind of what I was going for here. He's in his... Is he in his... No, I don't think he's in his 70s yet. Because if he was in his 20s back in 69... And it's just... What is it? It's 20 years ago? So he's going to be in his mid-40s, right?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Keep him young enough so he wasn't around for the beats, but still saw everything after that.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we have some. Let's see what we get here for Cy Malone, who was at Woodstock, damn it. He was there for the Summer of Love. He protested every protest. He didn't even care about what the protest was about. He just showed up for the wives, man. And has probably forgotten more things in his life because of intense use of various, shall we say, artificial stimulants that are,
You can just say substances.
yes, illicit substances. But he's a happy-go-lucky fella. Yeah, he's always ready for a friendly smile and a joke to anyone who asks. Look at him go. He's sitting there in his apartment, laughing away at all the cool stuff that he's seen, all the, frankly, sex he's had. And while he's rolling up a joint, because I'm sure he has a small in his closet, he has wired, stealing, of course, the electricity, a little grow up for at least one plant. Just for his own needs. His Greenwich Village apartment is not big enough to house more than that, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Is that a working picture for him? Alright, so then we have Miranda's friends here. Not friends. Family, actually.
Yeah, I'm dropping my family in a game like
Yeah,
this.
you're dropping your which is never gonna end poorly. It's always a good idea. So what does Daphne, your mom, look like? She's in her mid-40s or something, perhaps?
Mid-50s. I put images in the Discord.
Ah, oh my. Look at that. Oh, here we go. And the brother, too.
Yep. Daphne and Spencer.
Very well. You know what? Daphne and Spencer, you know what they are? Daphne is. Boomer is what she is.
That's not a term yet.
It's not. Right now, the generations are still known as the various generations, so she would still be known as a baby boomer, but they wouldn't say boomer. They'd say baby boomer. It's true.
Yes.
I was there. I remember.
Daphne has spent a lot of time encouraging Spencer to go blonde because she thinks it would look better on him, and Miranda is not having any of it. No, we've got black hair. I'm gonna keep my black hair.
Looks great. I can't see any problems with this blonde hair. I don't know what you mean. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, he doesn't look like someone who needs to be on a watch list.
No. No. He looks just wonderful. He
looks as happy as the next mechanic in New York City.
Yes. Exactly. That is exactly what he is. I don't know what you talk about. Here we go. Daphne and Spencer. They're model citizens and happy to live in New York, like so many other people.
New Yorkers.
She's definitely upper class New Yorker, isn't she? Upper middle class.
Well, she lives in Queens.
And he is average New Yorker in the streets, I guess. Probably
Yeah.
in the sheets too. Woo!
I'm not thinking of how my brother fucks. I'm choosing not to think of that. I'm sure he gets out there.
Of course he does.
He does have a look about him.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not something that Miranda has ever willingly thought of.
It happens, but we're not gonna ponder the details.
Yeah.
Maybe some of Miranda's packmates will ponder the details. I don't know how the various packmates swing. And maybe I just give Spencer the attractive or stunning advantage just because it's fun, right?
Sure.
Sorry, Spencer, I'm gonna have to fuck you up to protect you from my pack mates.
Skidders. We have a
Yes.
Frank Gallo. Who
Yes.
is mob boss associated and so on. So what does he look like? He's
I was thinking just like a generic background character from the Goodfellas. Look.
This is your touchstone.
Yeah, but I was definitely going to go ahead. The way I pictured him is that he's opposite of Henry Hill, where his mom is Irish and his dad is Italian. So he ended up in this Fagin job because he can't get made, so he's outside the mob. Ish.
How unwell do you want him to look? Like in Casino, where everybody looks like they're about a week away from a heart attack.
No, not Casino. What early Goodfellas, like before the flash forward even. Well, okay, late because he's in his 40s, so really also late-ish Goodfellas.
sounds good to me. Let's see how Mr. Gallo.
Did anybody
But
else see
actually,
that series with Ray Liotta where they were a gang of thieves? I think it might have actually just been called Thief or something. And they were like robbing an airliner or something. It was really good.
Don't remember off the top of my head.
I remember something with that small comedian robbing an airliner.
This is quite, frankly, this is quite Ray Liotta, but it is definitely a mobster. So we can be happy with that part. And he's gonna look like. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
This guy has mobster stamped in his forehead, basically, doesn't he?
Yeah.
At birth.
But like I said, in the backstory I had for him is he ended up in this Fagin job because he couldn't get into the mob fully, so he ended up in this kind of low level role.
He's a hang around. He never became a made man, and he's very sad.
Yeah, he's an associate.
Yeah, he's an associate.
But he made a poor career choice because he just looks like the perfect mob lawyer.
I guess he does.
Well, he grew up. He had ADHD in school. It's bad. It's
You know,
just
all
whole-
of it. You know, I need to work on my Italian American New York accent. There's an amazing Netflix show called Get Gotti that is a documentary on how he was finally convicted. That has a bunch of ex-mobsters who are providing their testimonials about what was going down in the 80s and early 90s. And oh my God, their language is beautiful to listen to. I don't know, I can't reproduce it properly. What does Jane Smith look like?
She's a black girl with vitiglio.
Okay. And how old is
Vitiligo?
she? Vitiligo.
She's like mid-20s.
Okay.
Confuse the AI so bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a challenge.
might.
you know.
I don't think so. 91 hairstyle. Is she out in the streets as you are?
No, what I was thinking for her is that she's more of a, even though they live together, she's more of a kind of a classier version of a cat burglar, more of a maybe, what's a roper, I think they call it in con terms, or a shill, I can't remember, but she's more presentable than Skidders, who puts on the homeless to look non-threatening.
Let's see what it does.
Yeah, I think the Roper is like the really presentable one who brings in the mark. I think the Shill is just more like a background character who sells the general plot.
Oh.
Okay, so ropers.
Okay. Maybe I should make another qualifier here, because we did specifically say girlfriend, so I'll modify the gender here. I had forgotten to do the qualifier. All right.
Yeah, they have a confusing romantic relationship where, despite the fact that they've been exclusively together for 10 plus years, they refuse to label themselves that way. It's very 2020 in 1991.
We hang out. That's what you're saying, right? You're hanging out,
Yeah.
not dating per se. We just hang out a lot and
Live in the
and
same
drinking.
house. That saves money. The same bed saves money. Under the same sheet,
Exactly.
share a heat.
Jane Smith, for your perusal. There is vitiligo in there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with it. Just to.
And her street name has got to be Goatee because of where it is.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Jane Goatee Smith. She hates that street name, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
But she'll go with it. Yeah.
Or has she accepted it? That is the question.
Or is she bringing out all the makeup she can possibly get to just cover up the vitiligo? I don't know. That was a thing that was fairly normal in 1991 because of, shall we say, horrible attitudes among people. You're going to be so surprised to find out that people in 1991 could be absolutely horrible to each other.
Oh, I won't be surprised because I was there. I remember 1991.
They didn't invent woke yet in the 90s.
No,
mean-
but they used to say bleeding heart instead,
Yeah,
which meant the same thing.
Yeah.
Shall invent the walk. It shall be me.
Is that your ambition?
Yeah, my long-term ambition is to invent the walk.
Clearly.
I'll leave that to someone else because originally that was invented by a fairly certain black people, so it wouldn't be fitting.
Yeah, it has some challenges. So for the next question to you all here, because this timely we're doing is a matter of a few months here. We've already dealt a little bit with your tribes and your rituals where you met your various tribes and how that worked out. Now I'm curious about your everyday life as you come back from this intense experience and you're going to try to pick up the pieces of your old life. You were gone from all your touchstones, all your family for what, good 2 weeks, something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, we're stuck in the warehouse for a week, and then you were up in Canada for several days, possibly a week. So
I think it was like 4 days.
what was that?
I think it was 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it's almost 2 weeks in total at least. So by the time you get home again, to the extent that you get home as it is, hi Jake. People might have been worried about you. So let's start with Themis again here. You live out in Brooklyn, don't you? More than anything else. Right? I think you do.
I guess I did say where I live at one point.
Yeah,
I don't
recall it was
remember, though.
Somewhere down in like southern Brooklyn or so. That's my recollection. So
I'll have to rewatch an episode later and find out.
Brooklyn, what is it? 9-9, I don't know. But yeah, Brooklyn is not where all the high rises are. Plenty of brownstones, plenty of low rises. In 1991, it's not one of the best areas of town, if you will. On the other hand, is any area of New York a good place in 1991? I think we would say the Upper East Side and Upper West Side of Manhattan are good areas where rich people live. And so they're less prone to crime. Staten Island is also a decent place to live, unless you fear for vampires, because I hear there are a few vampires out there. I'm not gonna make What We Do in the Shadows reference. Never mind. But if I recall correctly, the Bronx and Queens were rough and tumble places at the time. Of course, things will change within a decade and will be much better than it is now. It's not the worst that it's ever been in New York. The worst was the 70s, definitely. It was a bad place. And the atmosphere of New York was, like, the crime levels were the highest, I think, ever in New York, at least in the 20th century. And it was also the era of the Son of Sam and so on, so everybody was really paranoid and serial killers and whatnot. But
One of the
1991
really
it's slightly better.
I've seen about New York in the 70s. It was a documentary, I think it was, of New York in the 70s. but it shows like this intercut sort of newsreel film and like documentary shot at the time, and it was the one of the shots was just this room full of guys in this just the most awful slum room you could imagine, like all the paint peeling off the walls, just like looking awful. And these guys sat around like watching a TV, but they sat on what looked like the most expensive leather sofas in New York and wearing what looks like very shady underworld, but also incredibly expensive leather clothes. And it's just there is so little doubt about what they do for a living.
Does Themis have... Oh, Bryce, I should ask. Does Bryce have family in New York? Like mom, dad, siblings?
Yeah.
Obviously not touchstones, but just family.
Yeah. She has family.
So when she returns here and she meets, like, her she was gone over Christmas and New Year. Did she give any excuse to them before she disappeared?
Oh, that's the question.
If you are a punk, it does sound very in character for you to just disappear for a week and a half.
Yeah, I think she will at least have told them that she was gonna be away, but in like the Han wavy kind of way, just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go celebrate with some friends, and then just ignore several phone calls.
I have to imagine that they are thinking, oh no, there's a good chance she got raped or like kidnapped and raped and murdered, all that.
It's New York, exactly. Now, you landed in... What was it? It was... Yeah, we have a new app for the whole calendar now, so I can't really go and look at my old notes because of V13 and Simple Quest hasn't uploaded. Quest has uploaded, but not Simple Calendar. Very annoying. We'll hope it gets done soon. As the case might be. I'm gonna say that you're just gonna show up on the doorstep.
Yep.
Oh. And mom is gonna stand there, looking shell-shocked, and then she's gonna hug you so hard. Is she Greek?
I think she probably not Greek herself, maybe of Greek descent, but
Okay,
that's pretty much
okay.
it.
So she's gonna hug you, cry for a while, as she's hugging you very tightly, and then she's gonna get really pissed.
Yeah.
What the? Where have you been? Bryce! And she's just grabbing you by the collars. This is a typical Bryce neighborhood right here. And she's just
You thought
grabbing
fighting
you
the
by
Banes was bad.
What was that?
And you thought fighting the Banes was bad.
Exactly. What have you done? You know what? She has a bit of a Greek temperament. I think you might get a good slap here. Yeah. Where have you been? What have you done? You've kept us all worried. We called the police, for fuck's sake.
I didn't say I was staying with friends, Mom.
But not for 2 damn weeks. And as quickly as her rage comes, she's definitely kinfolk, you can tell, because the Black Fury rage and just general demeanor sometimes flashes over her face. And then she will drag you into the house because take off your jacket, check if you are whole, if there are any holes in you where they shouldn't be, and just lead you into the kitchen to feed you a proper meal. And she will hear no words to the contrary. You're eating now, young lady. Are there siblings? Dad? I don't know.
There's a dad. I think she probably also has a toddler brother, probably.
Okay. So dad is gonna come out there too, and He's also looking very angry, and you should have called at least. You could have called. On New Year's Eve, we were beside ourselves. We called cops for... God damn it. We reported you missing.
I did call. I said I was gonna be away a week.
Yeah, but calling from where you were away. Is it too hard to call your mom?
I wanted to, but it was stormy and the connection was bad.
Where were you?
It was how far away is the Canadian border? Probably
not
really
too
far
far,
away.
actually.
Yeah.
It's not too far. It's a decent drive, but not too
Yeah,
far.
because the state of New York, right, is on the Canadian border if you drive up to Niagara.
Yeah.
So...
It'd be like a few-hour drive to get to the border, but not too long.
I'm not American. How long is a few-hour drive?
I don't know, like 3 at most, I think. 3 or 4.
Okay, that's not
Yeah,
bad.
she's European. She wants the kilometers. New York to
For context,
Niagara.
when some people Americans say, "Oh, it's not that far," and they like, "Oh yeah, it's just a couple days drive," and I'm like, "What do you mean it's not that far?"
To be
It's a
fair,
6-hour
I
drive.
literally...
It's a
All right,
6-hour
to be
drive,
fair-
which is about 1,600 kilometers.
Alright, I was like a terrible person to answer that question because I would literally consider a 12-hour drive a short drive.
Yeah, all North Americans consider a 12-hour drive a short drive.
If I can get to a place in less than a day, then it's a short drive.
Exactly. If you are in Ontario and you drive for 12 hours, you're still in Ontario.
Yeah, a short drive for me is like 1 hour at most, maybe 2, give or take. But yeah,
So,
It's
yeah,
like when
1,600
Telling about
kilometers
the
for
sort
those
of
who are
drives
wondering.
they've been on. And 12 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours. If I drove for that long, I'd be in Slovakia.
Yep. Yep, that's the difference. So anyway, a 6.5 hour drive, 1,600 kilometers from New York City to Niagara Falls, which is the Canadian border. So that's the answer, which is, I guess, from equivalent of going from mid-Norway to Oslo.
yeah, that actually.
I think that's the
How many hours? 6?
6,
or
yeah.
4? Yeah, actually that does make sense. I have actually gone on that type of car rides, literally. I used to live in the middle of nowhere. Yes, for context, what time frame was Bryce gone?
What was the question again?
What time frame was Bryce gone? What dates?
Oh, that would have been like Boxing Day to just after New Year's.
In that case, Bryce is gonna say, well, yeah, me and some friends decided to hang and then go to the Niagara Falls and then, celebrate New Year's.
Oh, did you
It's
take
like
the pictures? Tell me you took some pictures, says Mom, very enthusiastically.
Yeah, I tried to, but stormy, so we didn't really see that well.
I think you're going to be fairly lucky that Mom and Dad have not been keeping track of the weather around Niagara Falls, so you're probably going to get away with this one.
If it was close to the Canadian border, it was probably actually...
So where you were was in northern Saskatchewan, and that was stormy. Niagara is very far away from that place. So
Okay. It could still have been stormy there, who knows?
It could have been. It
different
could have been,
time
definitely.
zone.
But for reference to southern Saskatchewan from Niagara Falls, okay, here we go. It's a 26-hour drive.
Yeah, okay. A little longer.
Yes. So
Yeah, maybe next
it's,
time I'm gonna...
And that's the southern Saskatchewan, maybe 36 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, she's gonna, I guess. What? Your subterfuge is terrible. Roll charisma subterfuge. Let's go. We want more than one success here. We want 2 to get away with our lies to our
Oh
parents.
no, I cannot rouse. I'm not a vampire.
You cannot rouse. You are not a vampire.
Don't fail me now. At least I have...
This will be
Oh,
hilarious.
Luck is on my side.
You do not. Yeah, you get away with it. You're just deadpan and just keeping that mask on, and Mom and Dad are none the wiser. Of course, later
It's,
that same week, I'm thinking we're talking here mid-January, which is always cold in New York because it's on the Atlantic and everything. That sucks in that way.
I was gonna say she has had a lot of time to think about this lie, so maybe that's what paid off
At
here.
least a full day. She's prepared herself, and I'm sure if he wants to have support from the Cairn, the Sept, in preparing the lie in question, Hundo and all the others in the Sept of the Green are right there to help you out and just help you craft that perfect. So I could even give you extra successes.
Alibi, yeah.
Yeah. But at some point, you've had messages, obviously, on the answering machine, and they wrote it down on a notepad for you from both Amanda and Marcus. Amanda is just, oh, just call me when you get back, and we'll hang out together. And Mom is a bit surprised that Amanda was not among the friend group who went to Niagara. You have your life, and that's just
And
world
Amanda
with
was
it.
probably with her family, anyways.
Yeah,
So.
probably, yeah.
We're your sketch fighting friends.
Exactly.
She is that kind of girl.
And Marcus, he's also calling about some cool events that he's trying to plan. I think Martin Luther King Day is coming in not too long, so... What is that? That is Martin Luther King Day. Yeah, it's 19th of January, I believe. When was it? It was... Oh, January 1st. 21st, sorry. In 1991. So, you have a couple of weeks until Martin Luther King Day, which is a holiday in the US, appropriately. And obviously Marcus want to plan for that and maybe catch some attention for that. So you have call me about MLK Day is like the note from Marcus. Are we going to connect to any of these?
Yeah, considering the more pressing one is contacting Marcus about the events.
All right. Marcus, he's gonna be like, hey, how are you doing? I'm gonna say that this is something like 11th of January or something. You have 10 days to plan the event, and you're sitting there in your headquarters with all the posters and the leaflets that you're gonna hand out, the flyers, all the merch, because you're trying to print up some t-shirts, some hoodies, and a whole bunch of other guys here, and everybody's, oh yeah, it's Bryce, let's go, yeah, this is gonna be great. And there's a small crowd there who perk up immediately, seem to be very enthusiastic when they know you and Marcus are on the case. But how does it feel for Themis to meet Marcus now that she is an adult Garou and he has no clue?
It's in the back of her mind, kind of every once in a while, but she's still, yeah, these are my people. I can't exactly just walk away from them. She just has it in the back of her mind while she just goes on as usual.
Oh, she has like wolf mama instincts. These are my cubs. I take care of them now.
Yeah, a lot of the people in the crowd are like older teens, some younger teens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, high
Marcus
schoolers.
and Tamis is probably one of the like older crowd, but there are also other young adults there, but Bryce and Marcus is the one that has the most, what's it called, the mature way of handling it, while all the others is just, they take it very seriously.
Yeah, I can see it like high school seniors and some undergrads. Some of them are studying STEM, biology, physics. I don't know if
Essentially,
environmental science is a thing yet.
A lot of people have IDs, but Bryce and Marcus are the ones that makes it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, because some of these folks, they were drawn to the movement because they care about the environment and they know the math perhaps behind it, or the biology or the chemistry. But talking to not already convinced people and getting people together, that's not their thing. They are, that's not what they do. Very well. So Bryce is getting settled in Brooklyn and working with her activists and stepping up here to put some pressure on the people who harm Gaia. Jake, where are you gonna end up?
I'm not really that familiar with I guess from in a poorer neighborhood area where homelessness and crime would be a lot more common than others. Tommy, why are you looking at Staten Island?
Just moving my mouse around.
Staten Island is
see the map.
not a poor neighborhood, let's just say.
Yeah, like, I do know that at least.
I think there are poor parts spread out across the city, really. There are some poor parts in Manhattan, housing projects. There are certainly the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, all have their...
I think.
Your character was homeless, correct?
Yep.
What was that?
Currently is homeless right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have a place to stay that is just a temporary thing, or?
Not really. I literally have destitute. No money.
Yes,
no,
of course, but do you have a homeless camp that you stay at?
Yeah, a homeless encampment I think makes sense. Yeah, fuck, I'm gonna say it's in Brooklyn
All right.
somewhere.
Does New York actually have a sort of Skid Row type place that's known
It has
for
several.
home?
It has several.
It's just of 8 million people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has several Skid Rows.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with New York, actually, surprisingly know more about Chicago.
It depends on where you are. Some parts of Harlem have been exposed more to poverty than others. Some parts of Midtown as well. You can find poverty in Hell's Kitchen, I think. The Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens all have their variable qualities of neighborhoods. Some more sketchy than others. So, South Bronx, Brownsville, Brooklyn, Harlem, Manhattan.
Yeah. Basically, the point is, Stromfeld is in a place where if you don't get your shit locked in, you are going to get shot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna be honest, until you mentioned Hell's Kitchen, I legit thought this was just a place that was made up by Marvel. I didn't know it really existed.
No, it exists. It's for real. It is a place, and it exists.
That reminds me.
like-
Do you remember that show, Different Strokes? And they were always talking about coming from Harlem. I thought that was a made-up place. Never mind.
Hell's Kitchen sounds like such like a comic book place.
It doesn't sound real, does it?
No,
It doesn't. Yeah.
I've been watching Daredevil, that's why.
Yeah, Daredevil's lovely. We love it. So, Jake, yeah, here we are. You're back on the streets. Look at these lovely streets. It's the best streets in the world, isn't it? How could anyone not love to live here? Obviously, there will be more dirt, like piles of, like literal piles of garbage bags on top of each other. There will be dumpsters, there will be trash cans. The dumpsters might have a body or two on a bad day.
Use
Even
condoms,
on a
use
good day.
needles.
What was that?
Sleeping homeless. Oh, I said use condoms, use needles.
Oh,
Sleeping homeless.
absolutely.
Maybe some people fucking in the streets. Who knows?
Under a tarp somewhere, absolutely. Or even over a tarp somewhere.
Yeah. It's a shithole, all right.
Yep. My question to you then is, you don't have any family that you're meeting, so I guess you're meeting with Lester. That's
Yep.
the only real family you have on the streets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost like he's a father figure for you or something.
Damn, Jake Doobie collected them fathers, huh?
Apparently. Yeah, for some reason
shopping.
I can't get the NPCs to show up like the names properly, but that's okay. Yeah, there you're just strolling along the street with nothing but your backpack.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, you're gonna find Lester has his usual hideout behind a dumpster. He has a big tarp that he's put up to protect himself from the weather, because let's face it, weather in January is terrible. But at least just in the middle of the tarp, away from the wall and away from the edge of the tarp, there is a little bit of a dry spot in there. Yeah. He's gonna be sitting there and coughing, because that's what he usually does. And when he sees you, he's gonna go, "Hey, Jake, how you doing?"
I'm doing
haven't
good,
seen you for
molester.
days, man. I thought you'd popped the bucket or something. Being eaten by the streets. It's a hard life in the streets, man.
Yeah, I got pretty close though, and I say that as I like move my head shut like a mangled.
What was that? There was some breakup there.
Oh, sorry. I say, yeah, I got pretty close as I like move my hair to the side and showing my mangled ear.
Oh man, someone clocked you good.
Yeah.
Did you get a piece of them though?
Yeah. It was a pretty tough fight though.
That's what you should do. You should get a piece of them too.
Absolutely.
But the best thing is to just keep out of it. Just if they can't see you, if they don't know who you are, just keep out of shit like that. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Keep out of it, man. Keep out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't really a situation I could have kept out of though.
Oh man.
That's all.
Good to see you, kid. Hey, kid. I came upon some really good. Let's see here. And he's gonna rummage through his backpack and hand you half-eaten burger.
Nice.
Yeah, just out of Burger
Thank-
King, the new joint. They just set up a new joint.
Man, thank you, Lester. You gotta tell me where it's set up.
Yeah, you just go every day when they're closing. They throw out a bunch of stuff. You can just go in the dumpster there and get the stuff. Feeds you
Nice.
beautifully.
All right then. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I'll try.
But you need to get out off the streets too. Don't do what I did, kid, because staying out here is no lot for a man. You need to get out. You need to get yourself a real job. Brush your hair and clean yourself properly and brush your teeth so they don't fall out on you when you're eating your big Burger King burger.
Yeah. And, trying to get a job for a bit.
You should, man. You should. Because get yourself a place. Doesn't matter who's small. It's just some place.
Yeah.
That's what I think. What? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been out of the loop for a while. Mind tell me what's happened since I've been gone?
Nothing much. Just, stuff. Teabag Lisa.
Yeah. What about him?
She dead, man.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, OD'd. Should have just stuck to the tea bags, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. I can't imagine Jack's doing too good about that.
Nah, he's just trying to find his own crack to deal with it. Shouldn't do them
Yeah.
cracks. Start with them cracks. It's not gonna end well for you.
Anyway, it's nice catching up with you, man.
Yeah, you too. You stay over here for a bit.
Sure. I ain't got nothing planned right now.
He's gonna actually look a bit relieved because you are big and bulky, son, aren't you?
Yep.
And, well, not the bulkiest, but at least...
Yeah. And also, with Jake's personality and just this neighborhood, he has for a winning fight.
Yeah, and I think Les is... So I'm not gonna get rubbed tonight. So that is the glorious homecoming of True Strike. When you are in your cairn, your respected ghetto Fenris Arun, and out here in the streets you are... what, really?
Street dog.
Yep. Street dog.
I can see you now.
Oh, yeah. No, Stromfeld never talks about his life outside of Garou stuff with Arnguff.
That makes
Ever.
sense.
Or any Garou, for that matter. He keeps that life to himself.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hell, and I'm just going to say that none of you know that he's even homeless.
Okay, then.
Never even said anything about it. You're like, if you do know he's homeless, it's from context clues. Maybe.
Maybe.
With Bryce's wits, she knows something is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She can
Jake
suss
is not
out the
exactly known for his
details.
subterfuge, is he?
Yeah. He would kick your ass before you ever admitted it, but yeah.
So, Miles, Storm Speaker Lincoln, comes back from his journey to the Canadian North into the Central Park, and then where does he go? Does he have family?
You're talking about family. This made me think, what's a proportion of kinfolk actually know their kinfolk? How many of our families would know about werewolves?
Oh, that varies by tribe and by even sept. I would say maybe 25% of kinfolk know that they're kinfolk and that there are werewolves around, roughly. Obviously, Bryce's mom has no idea about anything.
I guess Bryce has now is like suspicious just on context clues. Oh, that would explain a lot.
Eventually, she's gonna be.
Hey,
If she
mother,
ever
have you
finds out.
considered anger management?
Yeah. The thing with kinfolk is, they are not actually subjected to the delirium. So, if you shift in front of a kinfolk, they will know what you are. And if that is not prepared properly, there are legends of kinfolk who turn werewolf hunters because they were not prepared properly. And yeah. So you have to be a little bit careful about that. But Miles, so you have family or not?
Yeah. Yes, his family lives in New York. A comfortable life. Probably a father works on the subway or at the Port Authority or something. Mother a teacher, probably.
Yeah.
Since he already has his Winnebago, it wouldn't be a surprise to anybody that he was missing for a while. And he pre-recorded some of his radio shows for Felix to play. So in one sense, it's not, a lot of people may not have even noticed because he was still on the airwaves. But a lot of other people would have noticed because of just the insane social scene Miles is part of. So I guess when he came back, he would go see family, but he would also do the rounds, the cafes in Greenwich Village, loft parties in Hell's Kitchen or wherever they do that, their house parties down by the river, just every night somewhere else.
I'll imagine that your parents, you say they're very middle class people, so I'm gonna put them in a middle class neighborhood in Queens, which is a very average place to be, right? Probably a few blocks away from poverty, maybe a few blocks away from upper middle class. One of these places in Queens that in 10, 15 years will become gentrifying, but for now it's duplexes or, I don't know, single family homes, maybe. Decent enough to live in, but you should definitely not leave your door unlocked at night, and you should definitely have a car alarm because otherwise someone from 2 blocks over will come over and try to grab the ride from under you.
He will might as well also go to check on his touchstones and
Of course.
go see Felix since he was playing his radio shows for him. And I guess since he's a glass walker now and knows people with like technical affinity and talk to the spirits of stuff, would he have some interesting electronics to bring Felix as a gift? Show him some new stuff.
First of all, of course, you're coming in through the door to meet your folks. And, I don't know, did you leave any messages to them as you were away over New Year's?
Yeah, I would have said, actually, probably would have come close to the truth, would have said like it was going on a wilderness retreat kind of thing to get away from it all for a bit. And to anybody who knows Miles and like how much he loves technology and the social scene of New York, hearing him say he was going on a wilderness retreat would probably sound completely out of character, but it would. It's also close to the truth, and it also explains why he's been away and nobody's heard from him.
This is a place that probably takes a good 45 minutes to get to by the subway, because of course you ride the subway if you're working at the Port Authority and somewhere downtown Manhattan. No reason to drive a car. I think they have a car. It's going to be a 15-year-old car. It's from the mid-70s. Still runs. Dad does a lot of work on it. Maybe some of that work was maybe Miles helped out with some of that a few years back. Still the same old. It's going to be what? A Chevy or a Ford? I don't know. But it's definitely American made. And Dad will complain about all these new Japanese cars coming now. What is Toyota anyway? But with your high charisma and subterfuge, you're going to have absolutely no trouble convincing them that you wanted to get away for a while from it all and you just took your own. Mom is going to be a bit sad that you weren't here for Christmas and we wanted to have you here for Christmas. It's not the same without you, son. We want to have you here and open presents and all the food. And does Miles have any siblings?
Probably an older brother who's really different to him in the military.
And since he's an older brother, he has already married. Your brother was here. He brought his family over. They're expecting. It's gonna be great. When are you gonna settle down, huh? You're...
Too bright lights, too big a city. They'll come in time.
Okay, you graduated high school now. You're a man now. You know, when your dad and I got together, we weren't much older than you are now.
Maybe I'll find somebody. Do meet enough people.
I'm sure you do. How's the show going, son? Your dad he knows about your show, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How's your show going, son? I hear all sorts of other channels. Sure. How does this work? Are you gonna get a big break sometime? Go on one of the big networks or what?
I'll do that. I'd lose all my credibility from the city. But
What?
keep it down on the
What? Yeah, money is credibility, isn't it?
one kind of credibility.
Exactly. Money is definitely some kind of credibility. You gotta earn your keep. Yeah. You're moving up in life. American dream, my man.
American dream, American made.
Exactly. Now, we were playing some ball with your brother when he was here. Too bad you missed it. Maybe it's late now. You have your mom's casserole here, and maybe some other. If you come by next Saturday, we could go catch the ball game. How about that?
Yeah, we can do that. How's the car? I got a bit more practice in. If there's anything wrong with it, I can help you fix it. And Miles will tell the story about when he was out in the wilderness helping the truck driver by the side of the road.
Funny thing you should ask. And okay, this is an area where Miles and Dad will really bond nicely because he's just going to pop up the hood even in January and you're going to stand there in your big parkas sharing. You're a man now, so you get to drink beer. Though, legally, I don't think you do get to drink beer in New York at 18. I think you need to be 21.
It is illegal, but only pussies follow that law.
Is it like, is the law that you can't buy unless you're 21? Or is it just you can't drink?
No, you're not even supposed to drink. But
yeah, no, you're supposed to buy it, drink it. Yeah.
I don't think
Look
Dad
at it.
cares that much, to be honest, so he's going to offer you a beer. You're old enough to vote. You're old enough to join the armed service. Why shouldn't you be old enough to drink a beer?
Go to Iraq and kill some dudes.
Exactly. So he'll offer you one of those. And that's going to be a nice moment for Storm Speaker. It's literally like 24 hours ago, Storm Speaker, you were Storm Speaker, a proud new Garou, a member of the Garou Nation in northern Canada, being celebrated for your heroics in northern Canada, and then again celebrated as you cross the Moon Bridge into the Sept of the Green and taken up by the Sept of the Green with your new pack. And here you're standing in a residential area in Queens, sharing a brew with your dad over a car, an engine block. It's just so desperately mundane in comparison. You mentioned you wanted to talk to, who was it? The
Go see,
Touchstones.
go see Felix first, and just let him know I'm back. And thank him for the keeping the show on the air.
So
And
was it Fixit who kept it on the air? Or was it...
yeah, yeah, because he's got all knows how to use all the radio technology.
Alright, yeah, I tried, man, but it's not really my style to speak into a microphone, talk to people. It's a bit weird to me. I just like to... The machines! I talk to the machines. That's how I do it. They talk to me and I talk to them. But I appreciate your back, and I hope you're feeling better.
It's so strange to be so far away. Not even the phones worked.
Wow. What was that? Like Alaska? North Pole?
It was very north.
Very north, yeah. Sounds like it was very north. Jeez Christ.
Since
We're
I
far
got
away,
back,
man.
relief to get back. It was good to get away, but good to get back. And since I got back, I've met some people who are real into technology, and show me some new stuff I'd never seen before. Um, and it like opens the bag and puts like the glasswalker kit down.
He's
And
gonna be like, whoa, what's this? How does it work? Wow, this is really cool. If you're putting down Glasswalker fetishes here, but I don't think you have one, that will freak him out even more, because at that point they're beyond normal, have a life of their own. But even then, you're gonna have cutting edge, state of the art technology, the best that money can buy through the Glasswalker network, basically.
yeah, nothing mystical, but like the latest stuff out of Silicon Valley or imported from Japan and Korea kind of stuff. And then
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
we just take the stuff into the workshop in the back of the shop, and then for the next several hours there's just smoke rising as soldering irons work.
Yes, there will be Nerd Fest. And you're gonna put together all sorts of interesting machines just to see if they can work or not. Yeah, the nerds are at it again. Isn't it lovely? Do we want to take a short 5-minute break for all the reasons to break? And then we'll be back in 5 minutes. How about that?
Yep.
Very well. Be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. back. So now we're looking into Amanda. You're back from Northern Canada. The last couple of days have been a whirlwind of celebrations of the glory of your pack and your achievements, what you did in Northern Canada. Stories have been told by Stormspeaker about the amazing things that you all did.
Hold on, I think Ender is either out of the game or...
What?
Ender, if you're here, your mic is muted.
Oh.
So Jan!
His mic is muted. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so he...
Okay then, we will wait for him to get back, and meanwhile we will talk to Jan about Skidders in Shadows, who has been tossed into this new pack and heard a bunch of legends about what they did in Northern Canada, cleaning out Banes, taking away pollution from a uranium mine, killing black spiral dancers, in fact, more than one.
Hello.
Oh, he's back. Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. You do yours next.
We'll do it out of order. Alright then, Jan, continue.
There's been a big celebration here today, Jan, and you have a pack. You're a member of a pack. But the celebration is over, and it's time to go home. And where is home for Skidders?
Oh, damn it. Give me 2 seconds because I had... He's living in an abandoned station. Where is it now? Because I wrote this down.
A ghost station. Love that.
Yeah. The South 4th Street Phantom Station.
Oh. So we're talking about an abandoned train station.
Yes,
That's weird.
for the subway.
Yeah.
Because Skidders lives off the grid.
That makes sense. Where is it located again, did you say?
South 4th Street.
So somewhere around here-ish.
I don't know where that is in New York, sorry. I just looked it up as a possible, it's a station that was abandoned, so I just
Okay.
picked that one. It's in Brooklyn somewhere,
Abandoned
I think.
subway station in New York. Let's see. Old City Hall Station, 18th Street. 18th Street, Court Street, Chamber Street, 91st Street. I don't see any.
Oh, okay, put me... Where... Damn it, I thought I got the history lying to me.
You were before the police cleared out most of the mole people.
Yeah, this is exactly before 1991. Yeah, the Mole People, the book is coming out 2 years from now. If you've ever read it, it's scary as fuck.
Very well.
Okay, let's say not 4th Street. Let's say he lives in the South 4th Street shell. It's in Brooklyn. It wasn't abandoned. It was never built.
Oh, okay.
It was never opened, so maybe it mightn't come up. But it's on South 4th Street. It's technically a station shell. Sorry,
Okay, so it's
I
in
drove you
Brooklyn.
wrong there,
Very well.
Mikhail.
No, that's okay. It's a big city.
Yeah. So it's in Brooklyn on South 4th Street. It's like
Very well. So,
if you want,
Yeah.
there is another station I was thinking about, the cross of 59th Street and Columbus Circle. That's in IND, wherever that is. It's called IND, I think. But I don't know.
Sounds like
But that,
Indiana, even.
but I put that off because they occasionally put trains there still now. So I didn't. So I said it was a choice between there, where they sometimes put trains, and South 4th Street, which is hard to get into. But I was like, okay, South 4th Street it is then.
Anyway, it's an abandoned place. That was never used to begin with. That works for
Yeah,
me.
it's like the shell of a station.
The
So
shell of a station.
yeah.
And you don't have much family, do you?
I have zero family. I was an orphan.
So, who are you hanging out with in this abandoned station?
Jane, my girlfriend
Okay.
slash
You
partner.
know what?
crime.
I'm gonna use the this one here because it's good.
And there might be like mole people here as well.
If there is, you haven't seen any yet, so good. If Jane is slightly higher flying than you in terms of money, doesn't she have a place to stay herself? Like a bachelor pad or something? Or is she on the run from the law so much that she doesn't want to be on the grid?
I think both of us have this thing where we're living off the grid.
Yeah.
So Skidders makes enough money that he could buy like an apartment if he wanted to, but he's choosing to. Like Skidders doesn't have a driver's license, doesn't have any legal ID, is legally dead, probably. Doesn't exist and he wants to keep it that way.
Yep.
So and Jane is the same. Even though she's a higher thing, like she doesn't want to be registered on the system.
Makes sense. So when you're coming down to the hangout, and maybe Jane isn't there the first hour or two, but it's not only a matter of time before she actually arrives. Maybe just as the sun sets, and because you have your own way of getting into this place. It's a place under a bridge behind a dumpster that nobody, like the dumpster standing there. It's a fairly trafficked place. Because of the traffic, few homeless people gather around this particular dumpster because it's just too smelly, even for them, and they prefer to be somewhere. There are tunnels and sewers and all sorts of other places they can find hidey holes in this city and not live on a highway, as it were. But behind that dumpster, there's going to be like a ventilation shaft, an old abandoned. There's a grate, an old metal grate, iron grate that has crackled up with rust and everything. And when you guys found this place, you could bend it open just enough to sneak in. And because you're behind a dumpster, when you do this, nobody's ever seen you enter this place, as far as very sneaky and smooth. So when you found this place, obviously no electricity here. You have to bring your own light. But other than that, it's just you and her and this vast cavern of shell of a station with possibly some abandoned tools and stuff like that. And you're fairly comfy in here. Like, sure, when there's a lot of rain up there will be rivers along the tracks because that's where the water goes. But on the actual platform, you're fine.
See, what I was thinking is that like Skidders has like 3 dots in craft and 1 in tech. So I was thinking like he has enough that he has something rigged up that he's able to steal from the city's electricity supply to get electricity in here.
That would make sense, yeah. Some wits, some technology. Not a whole lot of technology, honestly.
But it has 3 craft. Like I was thinking it was more of a craft thing to do, maybe. Like technology is more dealing with
to do like things like a proper shelter and clothes and woodcraft and metalcraft, that kind of stuff. When it comes to rigging electric lines, I call that technology, because now we're getting into how not to get a bazillion volts through your body at the wrong time.
Okay.
But that said, I think you've created a nice, like, your own little palace of a shelter, which is much better appointed than most homeless people, because, let's face it, you built it yourself. Heck, if you can steal some drywall and some other things from various stores and from the dumpsters of the stores, you could probably make yourself a decent living area here. Doesn't have working plumbing necessarily, but a lot of other working amenities, like a decent bed and stuff like that. So it's your own little rat cave, because it's not a bat cave, right?
No, Batman's a fascist.
But Jane is coming down there to your little rat cave, and she's like looking at you and going, "Where were you? You haven't been gone for that long, but your Rite of Passage took you out of town, and you took a good long week to get back." So she's still curious about where were you.
Sorry, I got caught up in a deal, and it delayed me longer than I should have. I didn't actually get anything out of it in the end either. It was a bit of a waste. But I'm back now.
Huh. She's sizing you up, and not a word either. You just split. You just disappear on me like this. I thought 5-0 grabbed you or something.
I kept on trying to. I didn't think it would take as long, so I thought it would be just like 1 day, maybe 2 days, and then and because obviously like I couldn't get in contact with you when I was away then until I got back. Obviously, I should have just left you a note or something saying I was leaving for a night, but honestly, I just thought it'd be like maybe a day, 2 days max, but it ended up being, it was a total shit show.
Well,
everything went sideways.
She's just gonna give you that deadpan look and then go, you sleep on the couch this week.
Okay. Why did you ever invent that? Never mind. Oh, I say okay.
There. You're in the doghouse for now, Skidders. Or the rat house, as the case might be. I don't know.
Oh, maybe could I try to get her on side by maybe plotting to rob like maybe a business that I think might be associated with the worm, but I present it as we're going in there and we're gonna steal from their safe, but I'm looking for information and I'm presenting it to her though as we can get like the money they leave there.
Sure, right now, you don't have enough leads yet. That's what we're going to develop during these months, right?
Yeah.
But one word has been flying around in Garou circles a lot lately, and that is the name Pentex.
Oh, I was going to say Pentex, but 20 years ago, when I was first playing Werewolf, anytime I said Pentex, the GM would scream at me, "You don't know they exist!" and smack me across the face. So I simply didn't say Pentex, just to save myself from that. But okay.
I think they know that Pentex exists. The difficulty is to find... Okay, let me revisit that then, because the way I remember it is that it is a known entity, like Pentex affiliates, but the tricky bit for the Garou Nation is to find which companies are the shell companies that Pentex is hiding behind.
It sounds like it's very easy to know they're there. It's very easy to know they exist, but it's very hard to identify what is them.
Yes.
Which makes them a hydra of evil pollution.
Yeah, no, they will buy and sell companies really fast, and then now they have another face to their operations, and they're doing some damage there. And by the time the Garou notice that they're doing damage there, they have sold the outfit, moved it out, constituted it to some other company that they bought, and started operations elsewhere.
Okay, so
by the time the
if I
Garou
don't have any
actually come in
leads...
and nail down a site, they're very often late because the Pentex folks, they know that there are people out there who want to destroy their operations, and the moment they get a whiff of anything smelling of Garou, they will move it quickly.
Okay, so if I don't, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna say a specific place. I'm just gonna present it as an idea that we can do instead of like casing houses. We can start taking from business safes and stuff. Just as an idea to her.
Yeah, she's always up for stealing from a rich outfit. I don't think that she cares too much about if it's Exxon, Pentex, or Microsoft. Like whatever's gonna fill her pockets.
Okay. Good.
That is Skitter's return to New York. Let's get back to our good friend Amanda. You're back in New York. Just
You mean
recently.
Miranda, right?
What was that?
You mean Miranda, right?
Miranda, yes. Amanda. There's
No,
two
we have a
Andas
secret
here.
sixth player.
There's two Andas.
That's what threw me off, because like you, when you initially called out, you said Amanda, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's
who's
Miranda.
Amanda?
Yeah,
That was not intentional. It was just the first word that came to my head.
it was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
First name,
right.
I mean.
I don't need any coffee. What are you talking about? Anyway,
Hmm.
Miranda is 24 hours ago. You were celebrating your achievements in the Sept of the Winter Wolf together with the Gale Stalkers, and then more celebrations as you're recognized for heroism and embraced by Mother Larissa's possibly slightly stinky but still very motherly, grandmotherly embrace. And you're back in the big city. So where is Miranda going first?
She's probably going to go back. She's known as not very sociable, but she's gonna go back. She lives currently in Sunnyside in a student accommodation with a bunch of others, so she pays very little in rent because there's twice the amount of people for the fire codes in this building. But yeah, she's gonna go back and probably not. She's gonna call her mum and just say, "Hey, I'm back. Sorry, got lost in a bunch of research I was doing for one of my engineering courses next semester. But sorry about missing Christmas."
Your mom, is she rich or middle class?
She's upper middle class, but that's only because Miranda's dad and her husband died in a car accident
life
about 5
insurance.
years ago, and the life insurance came in. So she's not really rich, she just has a lot more money than is normal for her bracket and her area.
But between the death and the life insurance policy, how far is that apart? Do we need to worry about your mom?
What do you mean?
It's just a joke, but no, it's like a thing like that the murderers do. It's they put out a life insurance policy in someone and then they kill them shortly after and get the money.
Yeah. No, my hairdresser mother does not
Okay.
does not stage vehicular manslaughter.
But now that she has all that money, I bet she's gonna go for like a more upscale hairdresser salon and get more expensive.
Yeah,
clientele.
she's living above her means, but she's got a decade more before that actually affects her with the money that came in.
Fair enough. So she's okay for now. And
Yeah, she's not poor and she doesn't need to work, but it's very much if she wasn't working, she would go insane.
yeah, and an ambitious woman like her living in New York City, being a hairdresser, getting that amount of money, I'm sure she's going to try to start selling her services to more expensive clientele. A hairdresser for the rich people, if you will. Because then she can charge accordingly. The tricky bit here is for her if she has the actual skills to pull that off. Because that's not going to be cheap, is what I'm saying. It's not going to be simple. Like, those rich people are not going to be content with any old scissor work.
They should be, but they're not.
They're definitely not. They expect the latest haute couture from, I don't even know if that's the word in hairdressing, but the latest fashions. Like, they want to be trendsetters, not followers. So there's a difference there for you. Alright, serious about
So
that.
yeah, she's gonna call her and probably get an earful about how she missed Christmas and how her brother didn't turn up for Christmas either, and we're letting down the
Yes.
family spirit by working
Like,
through Christmas.
why didn't you even? We were not even. Did you even leave a message on the answering machine?
I don't think she could have.
So
I don't think she. Oh no, I think she did try to call through, but she
Yeah.
did try to call through from like a payphone in Canada, and I don't think it got through.
It probably didn't get through, no. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a freak out here too. Partially because you're the daughter, and we thought you were raped, murdered, and dumped in a ditch somewhere, maybe in the Hudson River. So we've
I
called
mean,
you missing.
people, that's not what people immediately jump to,
Of
right?
course it is. It's New York. And
Another thing is, it's up there. Okay.
It's definitely up there. It's certainly in 1991.
Yeah. My age bracket, though, I could have just been out partying.
Yes.
But
or you could
To
have.
be fair, though, with her one charisma, I don't think she was, or
could
is
have been out-
expected to be.
You could have been out partying and then on your way home being assaulted, murdered, and robbed, and ended up in the Hudson River.
Yeah.
So, Mom is absolutely going to give you a serious barking to about this whole situation. Like, how. And not a word, not a. Really? Are you. Can you keep track of time even?
I'm sorry. It was... Look, I had to finish up one of the drawing plans for one of the buildings down in Manhattan. It was stupid, I know, but I need to get it done.
I mean,
And
seriously, aren't you supposed to have a winter break? And as you're explaining all this, let's
yeah,
see,
you know what happens, Mum? The people who take winter breaks don't get into the firms. They don't get hired. You gotta work.
Oh my god, your charisma subterfuge is terrible.
Oh, she's not good at lying. But
so,
she is.
Mom is
She
gonna
does have a
know-
lot of resolve and composure.
Mom is gonna know that something is off with this tale.
Probably.
Yeah, she doesn't know what it is, and obviously she won't be able to crack you and get you to tell the truth about it because, again, as you say, resolve and all that. But
There is a question. Does the negatives of Bro translate over the phone, or is it just in person?
I think it's just in person. Your
Oh, thank
voice
God.
weird in Glabro.
Yeah,
because your
it sounds a bit
larynx-
off, but
Your larynx has
fine.
shifted a bit, so you're gonna sound coarser. So you might want to be in homage for the phone conversation.
I think she's just gonna try and get her mum used to the sound over the phone.
Are you having a cold? What's going on with your voice?
Oh, sorry. One of my roommates was fucking coughing up a storm the other week. I don't know, I may have caught something. I'll be fine. I know how to make soup.
Does she have a nickname for you? Because Miranda's a mouthful.
Mira, maybe?
Mira?
Maybe Apple.
Mira, I'm coming over to your place this weekend. I'm cooking for you. I'm making sure that you're fine.
Honey,
I'm not
you know...
having my daughter join some kind of weird cult.
What? No, okay. What? You can't cook at my place.
Okay,
If we
so
turn
I'll
on a
bring
single of-
Tupperware.
Oh, great. I can meet you somewhere.
So why do you want to?
Sure.
Why don't you want me to come over to your place?
Why do you think?
You have no reason to be ashamed of me in front of your friends.
I'm not ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of my place. We've got like 12 people living in a 5-person loft. God, it's cheap, and that's worth it, but still.
You're gonna hear. I remember those times.
I don't want any more physical people in this space. We are so far past capacity, there is no option for guests.
Did you meet some kind of weird guy?
No, I didn't.
Did you meet some
I-
kind of nice guy at least?
I'm not looking, I'm busy. Obviously. That's not what I'm looking at.
Okay. Your mom, the hairdresser, has absolutely no.
By the way, how's Spencer?
Yeah, how is
She's
Spencer?
just gonna try and derail the conversation
Yeah,
by
which-
bringing her brother into
Well,
this.
she doesn't have that much manipulation subterfuge either, so that's not gonna
Oh,
work
no.
so well.
Oh, it's not really like she's trying to actually bamboozle her mother. She's just, oh, I don't want to talk about me anymore. Let's talk about Spencer.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a transparent attempt, and she's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
fine. Now, I was talking about you, honey.
Oh, great.
Not letting go. Your mom, the hairdresser, never went
Knows
through...
how to talk.
So, I don't know. Yeah, it's up to you here as a player. If your mom, the hairdresser, actually had an academic head and just never had the opportunity to go to college and become an academic, or if
I don't think
that
she had,
intelligence
like,
was
she
on
wasn't dumb, but she wasn't, like, brilliant. It was just, she was a normal person who took up hairdressing.
okay,
She didn't, she is skilled at what she does because she's been doing it for so long, but she wasn't, like, inherently talented at it.
so the intelligence here is like the intelligence in academia is from dad, basically.
Yeah, like, that he's the one who was pushing her.
Very well. Yeah, this is. I think after Dad passed, this is going to be one of the walls between the two of you because she's from a different social world, and she was dazzled by Miranda's dad, obviously, because 2 kids resulted. But it's different when it's your daughter because then it's a different authority relationship, and she's expecting you to listen to your mom because the mama knows best, and then comes Mira here with all the book learning and all the math and all the stuff you need to do to succeed in this field that is complete Greek to her, and she just can't be there to support you or even understand what sorts of choices that you are confronting, which is really hard for this mom because she wants to be there and maybe not micromanage your life, but at least understand your choices and be able to give you sage advice the way a mom should.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Miranda is some form of autistic, and
Yeah,
her
that
mother is
doesn't
the
help at all.
opposite social butterfly, and Miranda's got
Extrovert.
nothing in that department.
Yeah, no, that doesn't help at all.
Just, oh yeah, I want to talk about my special interests. Let's talk about engineering. And just,
It's
oh,
like-
can't we talk about literally anything else?
So I guess a lot of Daphne's fears will come from the fact that when she was in Miranda's age, she was a party girl and probably did a whole lot of things that she doesn't want to know, that she doesn't want Miranda to know.
Yeah, there's a lot of projection.
Yes, I know what it is to be an 18-year-old party girl, and Miranda is definitely not an 18-year-old party girl. She's an 18-year-old nerd girl. So, yeah. That's,
Focused nerd. Very much just dedicated to what she's focused on.
Mhm.
Willing to sideline her entire social existence for the purposes of getting what she needs to get done.
Yeah, there's confusion here. Definitely confusion. Some mommy issues are developing, I sense. Which seems absolutely
I
reasonable.
think they're issues of her mother. I don't know whether she has a problem.
Okay, so maybe it's the mom having daughter issues rather than the other way around.
Yeah. There's a lot of projection, a lot of fear.
She's still,
It's not
you know,
it's not necessarily founded.
she's
in
not
anything.
necessarily, and also she's very proud of her daughter because her daughter is walking in her dad's footsteps in some way, like academia, and she's gonna get a great job. It's the 1990s, for crying out loud. Women can work in white-collar jobs now and have careers. It's not like in the 60s. The times are different.
Oh yeah,
now.
the glass
Yeah, like-
ceiling is gone in the 90s.
Clearly,
Yeah.
yes.
Being an older woman in the 90s would probably have a way of making you.
As far as Daphne is concerned, 1991 is so much better for career women than 1965 was.
Oh,
And she's
absolutely.
not wrong.
Like,
She's not wrong, but it's a
Well-
long way to go.
yeah, but all I'm saying is that lived experience, though, would probably make her more paranoid, though.
Maybe she's over optimistic because her daughter is talented and everything, and she's just expecting things to go smoother than they will. It's possible that she overshoots her expectations. Who knows? you're gonna get a bunch of opportunities that I never could have. So it's gonna be much better, and it's gonna be great.
Opportunities to fuck up your own life.
Didn't you see the movie Working Girl with Harrison Ford? It came out in the 80s.
At the moment, like Miranda's, because when she first turned, it was a very important experience for her,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be what I was, so she's gonna try to over the next few months just like slowly push more of the Glabro into her like features while she's around her mother, just so it's not like an all or nothing. Like she goes through a growth spurt over a few months.
Oh, okay,
Not something
so-
that happened over 2 weeks.
So she's gonna try to acclimatize her mom to the Glabro shape.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just a hormone imbalance. That's why you're suddenly having facial
Yeah,
hair
your
now.
mom is gonna be a bit horrified, because wait a minute, who are you taking after now? I don't even know who the kinfolk was, if it was dad or mom in this case, or both even.
It was probably grandma. It was probably like mum's mum,
Right, yeah.
but it wasn't like they
There's
weren't
like
close.
fucked up with your
Daphne
hormones.
is blissfully unaware of werewolves, is what we're saying.
Yeah, she's blissfully unaware of werewolves, so that's why I'm saying like, oh yeah, this is just a hormonal change and a growth spurt that's happening at the very end of
Yeah, the teenage.
like the
yeah.
growth period.
So
Yeah, she's like
Daphne
that.
is gonna dote over Miranda to make her prettier, so she can get a good job and get her the best haircuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to go so badly because she's going to get. The more she pushes into Glabro, the worse her social skills are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
oh,
was looking
I'll just take a
worse when all
razor
the-
to this bit here, and she's gonna come with the razor, and if you get like the unibrow, she's gonna fix that, and if you get hair in various places where a white
Well,
collar.
to be fair, you only grow like hair and features like that when you change into the form, right?
Surely nothing bad will happen with this lit match next to this powder keg.
No, it's a real question. Like what?
I
Like
believe that
you
the
only
Glabro
grow
form
the.
is a bit hairier than the
Yeah,
regular.
no, but it's not. When you change into the form, that's when it all grows. It's like an instant thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Which means theoretically, as long as she stays in Glabro, she can dial back any of the excess hair growths because it's not going to be constantly
I mean-
growing back.
It's probably
know,
gonna grow
nobody
slightly faster than the average hair growth, but
Oh,
Yeah,
it probably
nobody's
will,
ever
but it's
asked
going to be
about that.
manageable.
hopefully, maybe.
I don't think anybody has ever asked me about how quickly does a Glabro regrow the hair.
We gotta find this out right now. It's important for the story.
I'm sure
Drama.
it's in the book somewhere.
It's probably
feel
in the
like-
book somewhere.
There's a chart
Well, in-
from 10 years ago in a supplemental book about the length of hair growth in
One of the
Glabro.
very, very many
We're gonna have to
niche
do like
books.
a ruling here based on the spirit of the game, and I feel like in the spirit of the game, I feel like in my heart of heart, having the Glabro form should be like in terms of hygiene, just a little bit like
Drop it
not.
out.
Elduenda, you keep cutting out.
Yeah.
Keep missing bits of what you're saying.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, I think it's definitely my mic. And as I was saying, I feel like in the spirit of the game, I feel like the Glabro, in terms of living and all that, should be unmanageable a bit.
So it reveals a close inspection reveals a surprising amount of body hair as well as a loping gait when you're in Glabro form.
But that's a detailed inspection.
Your
So,
mom will do a
theoretically,
detailed inspection.
Yes, she will notice, and then I will be strapped to a chair for a very long time.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that may be a way that I can keep my connection with her. I just every like second week I just go to her to get any excess hair growth. Oh,
This
I'm
is
gonna
just
have
going
to
to look
wax
even more
so
noticeable
much.
when everybody's
Oh
together.
yeah, there's gonna be
In-
so much waxing. There's gonna be the hairdresser is coming with all the stuff and just.
Hey, it's gonna be at worst superficial damage.
It's not gonna be any damage at all. It's just gonna be weird. Unibrow
painful.
This is
fixed.
gonna
The
be so much more
sideburns
noticeable.
fixed. You're still gonna have that jowling, your chin that is a little bit too big, and those teeth that are jutting out a little bit, and that sense that just making people uneasy, because you would work really well in Halloween parties in this form. But yeah, Daphne has this very difficult task of pruning the Glabro.
I'm sure she will enjoy the challenge.
She does not in the least. She is just, are you taking after? What is even happening here? Why is it happening?
She
That's all
doesn't
I'm
like
saying.
spending time with her daughter in
Oh,
a
she loves
way she
spending time
can't
with her
escape
daughter.
from.
But she would much rather spend time with her daughter in other ways. Like, she wants her daughter to be the most beautiful because she's a hairdresser.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This difference is going to show up so bad when Miles and Miranda are together, because Miles is just like average height and pretty skinny. And if you see him stood next to She-Hulk with a 5 o'clock shadow at 10 a.m., that's really going to make
I'll
it
point
even
out.
more.
I'll point
Yeah,
out.
speaking
Like,
of that-
Miranda in Glabro is just 6 foot. Like, she's not She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. That's probably bad for your social thing. The fact that you associate with 2 homeless people.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be worse.
Yeah, same with you, Bryce. And also, it doesn't help that Jake has very noticeable scars on him too, like having a mangled.
Bryce work literally mans a counterculture club, so if anything, they're gonna be the most accepting.
Yeah.
Okay, I will take the hint and leave Glabro. I
Right.
want to stay in there, but if it's gonna be a constant problem,
Not
Yeah.
constant. Just
It's a major problem, though. A little bit. Not too major, but it's definitely going to be more inconvenient than it's worth.
I think it's going to be inconvenient when you are together with the people you are closest to, like your touchstones, like your family. When you're just casually encountering other people, like people who know you are going to be like, what's going on here? This is weird. They're not going to go, oh my god, she's a werewolf, but they're
Why are
gonna
you
be
suddenly
weirded
a
out.
furry?
in that case, when she's getting inspected by her mother, she will find the tattoo of the lighter attached to a spray can.
Mm.
Because that is a skin bind.
Ah!
And she's going to say, Mom, it's fine, it's a temporary tattoo.
Ah.
It will pass. It doesn't look like a temporary tattoo, but it's temporary technically.
Clearly.
She can
yeah.
remove it.
So, yeah, having that measure of clash with reality after you've been out in the really weird world of the Garou Nation. I don't
want to
know.
spend some time in the Umbra. The Umbra's nice.
The Umbra is, well, depends on where in New York
No
you
one
are.
gives a
but
shit on what you look like in the Umbra.
nobody gives. No, this is true. Some spirits probably do. You still have to talk.
I mean, it's nice until you start taking damage because you're not a spirit.
Exactly.
Hey, you've just got to get good at being in the Umbra.
But I was going to go over a little bit about the Sept of the Green Packs. There's a dozen of them, really, because this is
Yeah.
probably the largest Sept in North America, honestly. We're
Yeah, I was
talking-
looking at the list earlier.
Also, just a reminder, we didn't actually do the Glasswalkers in clan meeting.
yeah, we did.
We just arrived
Wait,
we
clan meeting?
arrived-
What?
Tribe.
tribe meeting. We just turned up and you described 2 people, and then we were about to get an info dump, and then end of session.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't actually learn anything about what the Glasswalkers are doing in the city or what they want
Well,
or anything
they're
like that.
tracing money to. They're trying to find Pentex by tracing the money flows, basically. That's
Okay,
the mission.
sure.
But yeah, there's a dozen different packs here, and obviously, for the Sept, I think they're gonna have just about all pack types covered. Though I will notice that as I design this, you are the only banishers.
I guess
Huh.
we're filling in a space,
You're filling a space, exactly.
adding to what's needed.
Most of the packs, of course, will be composed of glasswalkers and bone gnawers, at least one per. And then there's going to be some packs that actually have other tribes in it. You have like your scavengers that contain a heart warden and a shadow lord, apparently. You have your diplomats that have a stargazer and a shadow lord. Some activists that include a heart warden, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different packs who have one or two Garou that are not bone gnawers and glasswalkers. Not all packs even have. Some packs are like down to 3 members. There's a
Hello.
Silver Fang in there somewhere. There's a whole Silver Fang in all of the set. One Silver Fang.
Jesus Christ! Lock the fuck in, non-glasswalkers / bone gnawers.
Yep.
You
And,
just-
what was that?
Oh, nothing. I was just...
Philosophies vary a lot here between packs. Some are more about how the litany is guidance and not gospel, and survival sometimes means bending the rules. I think you might get along with that pack.
Yeah. Like, the litany is doctrine. Like,
Law-ish? Yeah.
it's like a military doctrine, I would say.
Maybe, yeah.
I guess in Stromfeld's view.
That makes sense. Of course, the pack around Mother Larissa and Cairn Guards, the Wardens of the Green, as they're called, they consider the litany to be sacred duty, and if you break it, they're gonna come down at you hard. And since they are most of the high-ranking Garou, the leaders of the Sept, everybody else have to be listening to that. All the old ways provide unbreakable traditions that bind the Garou together. Now, this is the old ways, the way the Bone Gnawers and the Glasswalkers think of them. Which ironically means that the whole doing computer stuff and electronics is not really something that the leadership of the Cairn of the Sept have wrapped their heads around yet. Because the old style Glasswalker was more like Harold Hunt and the mobsters. You use, for them, modern technology is machine guns and submachine guns and rifles and lots of them. Not hacking. What are computers anyway?
I imagine there would have been a lot of like reporters and investigative like journalists and private eyes as glasswalkers.
Yeah.
Like before the advent of modern technology.
Yeah, and the old way Glasswalker would be not so much talking to the pattern spiders, but yes, that too. But they're also talking to concrete, like the spirits of the concrete and the glass.
The urban spirits.
Exactly, and the steel. Because that's how they built the
And-
cities, right?
Do they exist in this werewolf? City fathers?
Yeah. The spirit. The New York definitely has a spirit, as a city spirit. It's a very powerful spirit, so don't approach it without proper deference. But if anyone can talk to the spirit of the city, it would definitely be the Glasswalkers and the Bone Gnawers. So, yeah. What else? We have others here who... There's going to be a split, roughly 50-50, between the various packs in terms of how important the litany is, where some are siding very much with the leadership because Mother Larissa has gotten us this far, so she's definitely doing something right, and others who are like, yeah, but she is getting really old, and soon she won't be around anymore because even old Garou will die because that's it's just the nature of things, right? You live, you do your thing, you die.
It makes me wonder how the next leader is chosen in that case.
That's gonna be the tricky part, isn't it? I don't think a whole lot of Garou want to really talk about that bit yet. They're a bit leery because
I don't have a crisis plan. I see, got it.
Yeah,
I see it.
No, it's more Mother Larissa still seems fairly alert and on her toes, and you know she still has energy and all that. So it would be
Basically,
halting to talk about replacing her while she's still so active.
Yeah, so basically they're pulling a 2025 Democrat.
Yeah, let's run Biden again.
Yeah, let's put Biden again. Also, let's not replace the literally like free dead like congressman who died of old age.
No, yeah, exactly. Let's just the old guard is what we gotta
Yeah,
stick
leave
to.
their seats empty forever because.
And the relationship between the Sept of the Green and the other Septs is a bit strained. The Silver Fangs up north, they're not so stable in their minds. Let's say.
Incest? Is it because incest?
Obviously.
Yeah.
They all have the Habsburg chin. And the Ghetto Fenris and the Black Furies are fighting each other so much that we can't get them to talk to us. So we're on our own in the big city, and we're gonna fix it our way.
Huh. Man, that makes it even funnier that our pack has a Black Fury and a Ghetto Fenris, huh?
It does. And it's a bit symbolic, isn't it?
Yeah. Really got some fucking alright then the Lord of the Rings characters were ones that dwarf. What were they called?
Yeah, is it the Legolas and the dwarf again?
Son of Gloin.
Yeah,
Gloin.
real Gimli and Illis energy here.
I'm curious about one thing. What type of other pack would your characters hang out with?
Look at them.
Eventually become friendly with?
Of the packs, probably
I mean, you're gonna have to make efforts to make sure Miranda doesn't run off with the spirit lanterns, but aside from that,
Ratcatcher seems pretty good.
I'm
That
trying
does-
to read it, but the formatting is a bit weird in
Oh, there's like a thing that you can download. And that you can look at
There's
them.
another one here. Boom. Yeah. Forgot about them.
Yeah, I read the thing about the Ratcatchers, and they definitely seem very chill.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess you have a group that you might not get along with then might be the Dark Runners, because they're actually monitoring their fellow Garou for signs of corruption and infiltration by the worm and breaches of the litany. So they're like the Sept of the Green's secret police.
Ah, yeah.
But in their defense, I will say that they are...
It's like the IRS. They're very annoying, but need it for things.
Yeah, and also they are a glasswalker. Let's see, I think they're two glasswalkers, one bone gnawer, and a child of Gaia. And wherever the child of Gaia goes, it's not going to be clobbering time anytime soon. So it's not a Shadow Lord leading this pack, is what I'm saying.
to be fair, the Silent Watchers are also a group that expose other kinfolk who...
Yeah, but there's a difference
Totally
between
cool.
looking at the kinfolk and looking at the Garou, so...
Interestingly enough, there's two packs that Bryce might get along with, but I could potentially be, like, a bit opposite. So I think Bryce would like the Crescent Accord because they're, like, a bit more on the diplomatic side. But seeing that Bryce is literally a punk like Fury, she could also very much get along with the Monkey Avengers.
Yeah, that
I
makes
did
sense.
actually consider that.
How about the
lore
Green
shaper,
Howlers?
but, yes, let me have a little read.
Activist
Number 4.
work, environmental activism, fighting against urban pollution.
I think she potentially could also like the Green Howlers.
I bet the Stromfeld would probably like the Moonlit Blades.
Although I don't think Bryce is necessarily the one to fight the worm in the courtroom.
Yeah. The Moon
On
that
the streets,
Blades.
maybe, but-
Yeah, they're relentless hunters. They've been attacked by Fomori. You know about Fomori. You've fought Fomori.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have.
Love beating the shit
so,
out of Mari.
Yeah, the rat catchers have 2 Bongnors, a Glasswalker, a Heart Warden, and a Shadow Lord. The Crescent Accord have a Glasswalker, a Shadow Lord, a Bongnor, and a Stargazer. Which makes sense for diplomats.
Which pack has quarterback?
Quarterback. He's gonna be the only get of Fenris pack. So, where is he?
I'm surprised there isn't a pack in the Scepter of the Green related to dealing with vampires specifically.
Well,
Seems like a
apparently-
big problem.
That's might eventually become our problem, for all we know.
Yeah.
Werewolves have vampires are like number 10 on their list of things to destroy.
Yeah, like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, if you see one, kill on sight, but that's not like the thing you're actively hunting for.
Well, yeah, but like vampires have a lot of influence as they represent like a lot of entrenched power. So like they are like they're not the main threat to Gaia, but they make people worse generally.
Yeah, but
Like
you get what
they make people worse versions of themselves in like even just their influence, not even talking about the vampire stuff.
Yeah.
Like the way they interact with people like would make the situation worse, like
I
passively
feel like
and
that
actively.
this
Yeah, but
is
as
kind
I
of
was
the
kill on sight, but they aren't the biggest problem.
I feel like vampires are
but-
kind of the thing that is lumped in with like general like worm tainted things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Like-
there isn't
Yeah,
like any specific focus, at least not yet.
Yeah,
In the same as you would like seeing a random Fomor. Okay, we're killing that guy, but he's not like absolute number 1 priority, just hunting random.
yeah.
I guess for
Like-
idiots, but-
Like that's the advantage that vampires have over werewolves. That the werewolves have just so much shit to deal with that the werewolves can't really focus on whether
Yeah,
they're
like-
vampires.
we have shit we need to be doing. We can't like hunt New York like every single fucking vampire in New York. We need to do.
Although that's an idea. What happens when a vampire gets possessed by a worm spirit?
Then we deal with.
It's rare. It's very rare because
It's-
I think I have actually looked this up. Essentially, it's a lot harder for a spirit to possess a vampire than it is like a mortal human being, which is why you rarely ever see worm spirit possess vampires. They can probably be influenced by them, but are possessed.
It's just
not
it's
usually.
just a weird like change because they can possess corpses quite easily.
Yeah. I think it's just so that
yeah.
it doesn't happen to a vampire PC that you're not randomly possessed by a
Yeah.
by a
I
rat
think
spirit.
what usually happens is Bane will possess a mortal while they're still alive, and just throughout a long period of time, the body just isn't hospitable for life anymore, which is why they're just dragging around the corpse.
You asked about where the Ghetto Fenris is. He's with the Iron Saboteurs.
Oh, the Iron Saboteurs.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would
I
probably
mean,
be
he's
chill.
for direct action. He's a Ghetto Fenris after all, so
Yeah, then I would probably like the Iron Saboteurs as well.
that makes sense.
Not because they're direct action and also get in the city pretty much.
Exactly. Alright, so I was gonna say, as we're kind of wrapping things up for this time, but you're keeping your eyes on your ears to, I was gonna say, the ground and doing various things during these months. Every once in a while you're being called away from your everyday life and you need to do an intervention because Mother Larissa or Hundo Chunder, whoever happens to be your contact. It's going to be more often Hundo than Mother Larissa because obviously she delegates. But there's going to be at least a couple of times when you're engaging with work for the Sept. There's going to be some events like Worm, some kind of blight spirit, blight bane, that is sickening plants in Battery Park. And when cats climb in those trees, they also get infected by these banes. You guys will have a chance to go there and clean up the blight in Battery Park.
Yes.
That's on the southern
That
Manhattan.
worm is dead on site.
Basically,
The
we
Bane is
have
dead
like,
on site.
for the next 5 months, we have a fair amount of like skirmishes that are like normal for a werewolf.
Yeah,
pack.
the questions, there are always questions lingering, like how did the Banes get here? Where are they coming from? And the
Yeah, I
word
think,
among the SEP leadership is, we're suspecting that someone is actively spreading these poisons.
Yeah, it seems like all of our things are interconnected.
I feel like I think Bryce would definitely actually be asking around, taking like on her own accord, like about this suspected medical corruption.
Yeah,
in
that
between
makes
all of these
sense.
missions.
There will be other things as well, other rumors that will be circulating, and I had them in my notes here, but I didn't copy and paste properly. So
Yes, give me all of the rumors. Nom, nom, nom.
Where did I put them? Dang it. Come on. Oh, there we go. Yes. Yeah, I guess... I think it's going to be for Weave Walker. You're going to hear, as you're talking to the spirits in the Umbra at different times.
That is her main form of talking.
Yes, that is her more form of talking. One of the spirits,
constantly-
possibly, I mean, your own spirit companion will obviously poke you when there is interesting news from the Umbra, because you
Yeah.
can't always be using your penumbral senses. It will make your head absolutely spin if you had that one on permanently.
Yeah, can't that's not a thing we could do either.
No.
If it was, I could.
As much
I
as you
would've.
would love to.
So since we upgraded Optinode, I said host screens, so it's able to get my attention by interacting with screens near me.
Yeah, there's gonna be like you have the screen, and your spirit is basically printing on the screen. This just in, it's like a news feed, like a news chyron coming across, but it's,
The ticker.
yeah, the ticker. It's in dark green on lighter green because it's 1991, and all the letters are in the computerized font of the day. This just in, one of your kind drifts in sorrow, his soul unmoored. His pain poisons his claws. His heart claws itself in grief. He is powerful still, but his anguish feeds the worm's whispers. So says other spirits.
In that case, how are we communicating? Obviously, right now she's got mind speak, but that would drain a lot of willpower if that's her main means of reaching out to all of you.
Yep.
And some of you are homeless, so I don't know what access to technology you have.
Pagers?
You may have my number.
Pagers? You have access to glasswalkers. They can hand out pagers when needed to make the
Yeah,
sound.
I've basically given you like an address of addresses of areas I might be, because I have no phone.
In the case,
pager.
yeah, she'll send an update to everyone's pager, which means we need to meet. We will probably have a set area if we can do that. Because we can't all go to the Scepter of the Green, because that's just in the middle of the bloody park all the time.
All right. So I guess one of you I guess pay for a pager for me or something?
From Glasswalkers. He just said that we can get you pages.
All right then.
True Strike, you're gonna hear from Quarterback. He's like walking up to you during one of the meetings it's gonna be probably April by now. And I know, when was the last time you were up in the mountains with our kin?
A while ago. Why do you ask?
I heard the wildest rumor from up there, man. Looks like a fight is coming. Basically, our tribe versus the Shadow Lords.
Shit.
The Shadow Lords have been doing raids against us. No provocation at all.
That's not good.
Yeah. Just keep your
Fuck.
eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears peeled. There might be like a summons, howl of war coming, and they're gonna need us.
Yeah, all right then. Thanks for telling me.
No problem, man. Up for some football later on?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anyone else up for football? Looks at Themis, I guess? Because you're big and burly, aren't you?
I'm in the scene. Hello, I guess I'm in the scene.
You're in the scene
Like,
now.
yeah, I thought that was a private scene between the two of them.
Yeah, I was very confused for a moment.
Well,
I was like,
this is
I'm-
happening
I'm
during
in-
one of the SEP meetings, so you might be in the scene. Who knows?
All right, I guess
okay.
we're like. All
I
right,
have
cool.
spawned in the scene.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
of like spawn gun. I'm talking about like just shoot like the spawn gun.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I haven't played much. I can give it a go.
Yeah, quarterback is not gonna hold it against you that you're a Black Fury. He's a surprisingly open-minded Ghetto Federist. He just wants to get his sports team together.
And it really feels like quarterback and I have to lock in
Yeah.
the rest of our tribe out in the fucking woods being jackasses.
This is not the
Time
final
to-
rumor I'm gonna get you, Skidders. You're gonna hear stuff too. Yeah. There's gonna be a Bongnor kinfolk coming up to you, Skidders, and this is when you're like in your place out in Brooklyn, and this guy or this gal, she's older. She looks like she's 80, but she's probably just 40 and had a tough life on the street. And she's gonna come up to you. She probably knows because Bognors share information a lot. She's probably gonna come home to your place. And are you Skidders?
Sometimes. Who are you?
I'm. Oh, I need to come up with a name for this person.
Oh, Buddha.
Okay. I heard some rumors. It's not just rumors, I think. I work maintenance down by the Statue of Liberty. And apparently a new group of guards have been contracted. And I tend to work the janitorial services over there. I just don't like the look of them. I don't like the look of them at all. They smell wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does their company have a name? Do they have like patches?
Yeah, sure. It's not gonna be Pentex, because that would be too obvious.
I didn't
It's
say it was going to be
Pentox.
Pentex.
It's Timu Pentex.
You were thinking it really loud.
I wasn't thinking it really loud at all. What I was actually thinking was, this room is so dark, why didn't I turn on the light?
Exactly. Yeah, no, this old one. She's known as 5 cents because she can find out the truth for less than the cost of a payphone call. Yeah. Also because she also wants 5 cents in return for the information. They're called Liberty Integrated Services, LLC. Yeah.
Okay,
They
I'm
do
good.
historic
I'll write that
land
name down.
maintenance, landmark maintenance, and modernization. That's what they say.
Okay. I'll check them out. Thanks,
Sounds
5
very
cents. And I guess I
fancy.
give her
Yeah.
5 cents.
So now you have a whole bunch of different leads for New York because New York is the city that never sleeps, and Pentex also never sleeps.
What's the name of that company again?
Pentex. Oh, the other
Liberty
one.
Integrated.
Liberty, yeah, Liberty Integrated Services, LIS, LLC, yeah. Which is definitely not Pentex in disguise.
Nobody's saying that except you, Mikhail. I'm fully sure that they're a perfectly legitimate company with perfectly legitimate goals
So
that
am
have
I.
nothing to do with
So am
polluting
I.
the world.
So next time,
just-
when we reassemble, the pack will have probably decided which of these leads to follow first, or maybe we're gonna split the group up. That's the best idea ever, I think. And yeah, we'll see where these leads will take us as you rage across New York. And as always, folks, follow the channel and chat, subscribe, bell icon so you get the latest news from the Sept and be updated on all the threats from the worm. See you in a week, everyone. Arwoo!